Good afternoon, and today it's another episode of Biblical Cinematic Universe, focusing on The Chosen Season 4, this time Episode 4. So spoilers for Episode 3, but also I'm going to talk Episode 4. And I want to mostly, it's less a review and more of a summary, and talking about the main biblical stories in this, and some of the other stories in here, and just my theories of what's going on as of June 2024 when I make the video. So, in the last episode, recently in Season 4, John the Baptist died. However, in the next episode, in this last episode, Episode 3, what happened is Thomas, he was going to get married, he's all in love, he's all getting ready to get married, and then unfortunately during a riot when Jesus was preaching and rebuking the Pharisees, a Roman soldier, Quintus, who has been since Season 1, played by Brandon Potter, he accidentally, in the episode, kills Rama while he's trying to chase after Jesus, Thomas's girlfriend. So this episode picks up right from there, and as I said in Episode 3, this has become controversial because obviously Rama wasn't in the Bible. Most people, I think, who were following The Chosen up to this point just assumed that she was one of the unnamed female disciples of Jesus, which seemed like that's what they were playing with, because I know that there was so many and there's so many that were named Mary that maybe they changed the name to Rama. I don't know. That's what I thought originally. And I was rooting for Thomas, man. I was like rooting for Thomas. I liked Rama. I don't like the Ethiopian woman. I don't like her, and it's because of her character. I don't think she's mentioned in the Bible once, but not necessarily as someone who was supporting Jesus, I think. Anyways, the point is that she's dead, and so the episode starts with Quintus. He is demoted, which to me makes no sense, because in every Jesus film we've ever seen, I mean, I know they're not all based in history, Romans would get away with this stuff all the time, right? Like, and also, considering it wasn't necessarily like he was deliberately doing it, I guess they just see it as more he's demoted because he had no handle or control of the situation with Jesus, and everything was escalating instead of dying down in terms of tensions. So maybe that's why he's demoted. But to me, it makes no sense why he would be demoted for killing a random Jew. You know what I mean? Historically, I don't know. Maybe historically, some Romans were kinder than others, and actually just followed the law, a little bit of the law, even, and weren't all corrupt. So the Gaius, who is the centurion who they introduced in Season 1, is it Gaius? Yeah, he was played by Kirk Waller, and he was the centurion who helped Matthew. They've been building this storyline for 4 seasons, and so he is promoted now to that position. So in this episode, you see a lot of the sorrow and the pain of the grief that Thomas is going through. Now, first things first. Quintus, I don't think, is done. I don't think you waste that character, which is having him be demoted, and never see him again. I have a theory. Here's my theory, and we'll see after 7 seasons if I'm right. I have a theory. What if Quintus comes back in Season 6 or 7 as a centurion who kills Jesus? That would be kind of interesting. I could see that. I could see him either being the centurion who ends up killing Jesus and whipping him and being like, "You demoted me, this is all your fault," and like taking out his anger and pain on him. I could see them doing that, even though technically speaking it probably was just any old centurion who did that. But it would add dramatic conflict for this show, and I can see them doing it. The other possibility, Theory 2, is he is the centurion who will crucify Jesus, so same as number 1, but he will be a centurion who is the one who at the end puts the spear in Jesus' side and then realizes at the end truly this is the Son of God. Or do they make somehow they make Gaius that role, or do they invent a new role? So that's my theories of the centurion stuff. Wow, it's almost 5 minutes already. As I said, the rest of the episodes deals with grief. And in my opinion, if they had used John the Baptist, who was a biblical character, and they could have had Andrew dealing with that grief, same story arc that they're having Thomas on, I think he would have been more biblically accurate, even though it's a historical what-if type of situation. That's my opinion. And then finally, this episode deals a lot, has a time shift. In the middle of the episode was kind of jarring, which is they kind of have a montage, and then they say 6 months later. And I don't like that for a Jesus show, because the idea that kind of it settled into a routine for 6 months is kind of silly to me. I think they should have just kept on moving, but it helps move the characters. I just think there's too much emphasis on this fictional storyline with Rama dying, personally. But the other main storyline of this is that the centurion guy ends up has an illegitimate servant, and he asked Jesus to heal him, so he's the centurion of great faith, and that was really well paid, and it was one of those examples of where, because you have multiple seasons, and you thought through how this could play out naturally, how he could be connected to the disciples, how he would know the disciples, etc., etc. I thought that was excellent and well done, although we haven't seen Thomas's reaction. I want to see what Thomas says. Why did you heal that centurion's son but not my Rama, But it is an excellent episode. Outside of that kind of like, if for those who are, very fond of the Bible story, from a historical standpoint, and kind of go like and have those two little questions. But even those to me are nitpicks. They don't ruin the episode or anything. It's just that they are choices that the writer made that maybe I, as a writer, would have not made. But otherwise, excellent episode, and that's what I would like you to discuss and think about is the theories about the centurion. What will happen to both Gaius, and what will happen to Quintus in the future seasons, and also, the story of great faith as a centurion is one to remember as well. Take care. Biblical Cinematic Universe.